Hi everyone, Dave here with a new guitar lesson. Today we're going to look at Steve Lukather's outro solo to I'll Be Over You, and in particular this one is the Live in Paris concert 1990, one of my favourites. Right, it's going to be quite a long lesson, it's quite a long solo, so what I thought I'd do was I'll just get straight into the solo, and then at the end I'm going to talk about why it works and all the little musical devices that he uses. Okay. Let's get straight to it. So, it picks up, this is at about the 3:50 mark. And we start off with this. Let's just take that much. So, on the D string, we slide 12, then 10G, 10D, 12G, 10D, 12 on the G with a bit of vibrato, then get a little jump, that's 11B, 12D, and then 13B, bend up a whole step, repick it twice, keep that held up, little finger's going to play the 13th fret on the E, then repick that bent note on the B string and let it down. So okay, next phrase. So again, I'm bending 13th fret up a whole step on the B, 13 on the E, 15, then 15, 15 again, and then back to 13, going to bend and release a whole step. So like that. So what we got there is, once we've done that, we've got, so we've got to do this first, so we just got a little pull off. That's 13 to 10 on the E, and then repick 13. Then we get this little triplet rundown. So that is 10 on the E, 13, 11 on the B. Then we play those three notes again. Then on the B we go 10, 13, 11. Then back to 10, we're going to bend up a half step and release. And then we're going to finish on 12th fret on the G. So, a bit of vibrato on the end there. Okay. Right, for that, so I'm going to play on the G, this is 10, and then on the 12 we're going to bend and release up a whole step. And then we get a series of whammy bar dips. So that is 15, 14, 17, 15, all on the G string. And you can either just hammer them, or you could pick and dip the bar at the same time. It's up to you. I think he just hammers it. Get up to that point, and then we play 18 on the B, and then 17, bend up a whole step. Add a bit of vibrato with the bar. like so. Okay, next one. Little pentatonic bit. So we've got, so on the D string, we're sliding into 15, 13G, 15D, and then 17 on the G, bend up a whole step, 18B, and then 15 and 18E. Okay, then we get this nice little, it's quite a long run this, but let me break it down. Let me just take the first two beats. We've got 17 on the E, bend and release a half step, 18B, 15G, 15B, 15G, 18B, 15G, and then we're gonna, on the 15th fret on the B, we're gonna bend and release a half step, then 17G, 15B, 15G, then 17 on the G, then bend and release a half step on the 14th fret on the G, 15D, and then 15th fret on the A. So let's just do that one last time. There you go, and then we're into the next run up. The last bit's very similar to what we've had before, but so all pentatonic. So that's sliding 17 on the A, 15D, back to 17 on the A, 17D, 15, then 17 on the G, bend up a whole step, 18B, 15, 18 on the E. Do that again. Okay, then we're into the next bit. This happens 3 times. We're going to pull off 18 to 15 on the E and then play 18. Then we're going to do the pull off one more time, 18 to 15, and then finish on 17 this time. And then finish off that bar, 15, this is all on the E, 15, and then 18, bend and release. So, going from the run before, like so. The next bar, I'll do that much, that's a little bit more than a bar. So for that, pulling off 18 to 17, then 18 twice, then the next triplet is 20, 18 on the E, 18 on the B. Then we're going to bend 20 on the E string up a whole step. Then we're going to keep repicking the bend, but as we're repicking it, we're gradually letting the bend down. So you get... And by the time you've picked the 20th fret for the last time, you're all the way down, and then you add a little bit of vibrato on the end. Terrific. Right, the next bit is all pentatonic. I'll just take that much because it's kind of got a bit of a swing triplet-y feel. So this is on the E string, 18, bend up a whole step, then play it normally, then 15, then we're going to play 15 on the B, bend 18 up a whole step on the B, 15 on the E, 18 B, 15 E. Right, the next run, this is as close as I could get it really. It's a little bit mushy on the recording and there's loads and loads of reverb because it's a live recording. But I think this is pretty close. Feel free to substitute this run if you want, but I think I'm pretty close with this one. Okay, so again, it's all pentatonic. So, although the rhythms are kind of like 7 notes to a beat, it's basically Luke just going for it. So I actually think it makes more sense to break this up into groups of 4 because that's the way it feels when you're playing it, and he's just playing it as fast as he can. So we've got the first 4 are going to be 17, 15, 17, 15 on the G. The next group of 4 is back to the 17. Then we're going to play 15, 17 on the D, and then 15 on the G. So the first 8 notes. You get that? Then the next group of 4 on the D, we pull off 17 to 15, and then we're going to slide 17 to 15 on the A. Like that. Then we're on the E string, we're going to go 13, 15, and then 13, 15 on the A. So. Then the next group of 4, you're going to slide from that 15th fret up to 17, and then we're going to, on the D string, we're going to play 15, 17, 15. And then the last is kind of more in the space of 1 beat, like semi-quavers. So for that, 17 on the G, 15, 17 on the D, then back to 15 on the G. So that whole bar do that again. Feel free to substitute that one. I think the main idea is that he's just using the pentatonic scale and he's just blazing with alternate picking on it. So, you know, feel free to play around with that one. Okay, now we're into some of the last phrases. We've got... let's just take that much. So it kind of changes key. Up until now it's all been in B flat major. Now we're kind of in A flat major. So we've got 18 on the E, bend and release a whole step. Then 16 on the B, bend up a whole step. Then we're going to play 18E, 16B, 15G. Next bit, 18B, 15G, 16B, 15G. And then 16E, 15G, 15E, 18 on the B. Like so. Right, at that point we jump down. So we're in A flat major pentatonic, box number 1. Or you can think of it as F minor if you wanted to, because it is over an F minor chord at this point. So 13G, 16B, 13G, 16B, bend up a whole step. And then we get this kind of little pedal run. So what's happening there is we're just going back and forth between the E and the B strings. 13 on the E, 13B, 15E, 13B, 16E, 13B, 18E, 13B, 16E, 13B, and then we're going to pull off 15 to 13 on the E, 16B, and then 13E, 13B. As far as how you pick it, I find that if I go up on the E and down on the B, kind of an outside picking stroke, that tends to work for me. I think Lukather does the same thing, actually. Sometimes he swaps his picking round to make the string crossing easier. So whatever works for you, but that's the way I'm doing it. And then we get this kind of like group of 3 notes that he plays 3 times and it gradually gets quicker. So the actual sequence is 16, 14, 13. And I pull off the last 2, 14 to 13. He does it again a little quicker. And then one more time. But then when he plays a 13, he bends it up a half step and releases it. And then carrying on. So for that I'm playing 15G, 13E, 13 on the G, play that again, add vibrato, 15G up a half, whole step, 13, 15. Then at that point, this is where it slows down and he's playing over different pads. So he's playing 18, 20 on the B, and I think he's doing a little dip with the arm as well as he picks the notes. And then we're going to play the 20 and bend it up a half step. Then play it normally. Slide off. And then we're going to play this. Right, so this is kind of happening over... It's an E flat chord, but... Actually it's an F major chord with an E flat in the bass. And he's basically playing an F major triad here. So anyway, the notes are 14G, 13 on the B, 13E, back to 13 on the B, then he's pedalling, that's 15E, 13B, 17E, 13B. And then you get this little run. So bending up a half step on the 17th fret of the E, let it down, then you're going to pull off 16, 15 to 13. Do that again. Then 17, and then 15, bend up a whole step. Then the next bit's over an E flat minor 7 chord, so he kind of changes keys, so E flat natural minor. So slide into 11 on the B, 11E, 11B, and then 13, bend up a half step and release. Then 14 on the B, then on the E, 11, 13, 14. Then travel up, we can go 16, 14, 16, and then bend 16 up. up a whole step. Don't worry too much about the rhythm, it's very free at this point. Okay, and then the last bit is going to be over an E flat major chord. So for that, we're bending and releasing on fret 15 of the E, just a half step, 16 B, 15 on the G, then back to 16 on the B, we're going to bend, release and then re-bend. Let it down, and then just play 16 normally, add vibrato at the end, and then that is the end of the solo. So that's the solo mapped out. Probably something else I want to just talk over a little bit is why it works and kind of his signature moves that he's using on this solo, which makes it so great. One thing is he's using the whammy bar an awful lot for notes, to add vibrato to notes. So sometimes he's using his fingers, but a lot of the time he's using the arm, even on the very first phrase. And something that's worth bearing in mind is quite often he'll play the note and he won't add the vibrato straight away. He'll let it sit for a little bit and then just bring it in gradually. So it's not straight. It's not straight away. Just brings it in. So listen out for that. I mean, I'd recommend listening to the original recording to really get it just the way he's got it. But that's typically what he does. The other thing you're going to see an awful lot in this solo, there's a lot of pedal notes where he keeps going back to the same note, even on that first phrase. You know, he keeps pedaling back to the 10th fret on the D string there. Where else is it? He does it in quite a few places. Later on in the lick, he goes once he's come out of this pentatonic. Then you get this long run. You know, the first part of that, which is in B flat, he keeps pedaling back to the B flat note. You know, so there's one instance where he does it there. And basically, that's just all over B flat major. You can have an awful lot of fun with that. I mean, Bach used to use it all the time, didn't he? Playing pedal notes. And this is something Lukather's done for a long time. You're going to see an awful lot of pedaling. Incidentally, I think quite a lot of the time when he's playing these sort of runs, I think he plays an upstroke on the higher note and down on the lower pedal note. I think that's pretty much the way he tends to do it. Okay, so that's one example of it. They do some later on as well. I'm just going to quickly just have a quick look at the run. So after we come out of the big old pentatonic thing, when we get to the A flat section, actually, where it's you got the same thing. Incidentally, this is interesting because it's really in A flat at this point, but he's still pedaling back to the B flat note. Actually, over the A flat section, he's also, it's the chords changes are really, it's A flat major, and then it's a slash chord. It's like an E flat major over the A flat bass, which kind of gives it a kind of a major 9 sound. And what's interesting there is that really I think he's thinking in terms of the E flat chord over the top, because a lot of what that would explain the B flat. Got this little, like the notes of the E flat major chord, and there it's kind of like an E flat 5, and then he's just pedaling. So there's another example of where he plays those pedal notes. So I think, you know, certainly a lot of the melodic stuff that he does and some of these cooler runs that he does that aren't absolutely blazing, but they're still, you know, they're still fairly lively. These pedal notes are really a great melodic device that he uses a great deal. You see it towards the end as well. I'm just going to quickly flick towards the end. Yeah, you get it over the F minor as well, where you got this. This is a great example of it. It really pedals back to the B string on this one. Yeah. So he'll do a lot of things. I mean, this is F minor. He'll do a lot of that sort of thing where he's pedaling back to the B string, which he does there. I think there's one more example that I can think of where he's slightly pedaling it, and it's where you get this right towards the end where there's like it's an E flat chord. It's really an F major chord with an E flat in the bass. And the first bit is outlining the F major triad, and then he introduces a little bit of pedal note or pedal tone towards the end of that. So the first bit is, that's all F major, and then he keeps going back to that second string. Right in the end there. So, you know, those are kind of the main points that I wanted to really make about, you know, the melodic choices that he's using on this solo. I think it's great. It's one of my favourite live solos that he's done. I think, you know, it's very melodic. There's a little bit of flash in there, some great like whammy bar, like, but for vibrato rather than, you know, the dive bombing sort of thing that he does sometimes. But using it for the vibrato, it's a great technique. And the whammy bar dips as well. That's always that always sounds great as well. So, you know, there's an awful lot of information in this. Or to gain from this solo, I think. If you put the time in, it's well worth getting under your fingers, and then just taking the ideas and, you know, trying some these ideas out on your own solos. I think that's the way to go. That's the way forward with it, definitely. Okay, guys, I might put a little sample solo up at the end, just kind of elaborating on this a little bit. So yeah, that should be fun. Other than that, I hope you get a lot from the lesson, and I will see you for one in the near future. Take care, guys. See you later.